Out here feels good. Give the guys a week off mentally and physically. They needed it after a long season, but as I say, it takes us a couple of days to get back in that groove. That's too many days off in a row, but we knew that. But guys come out and did a nice job. They ran well, conditioned pretty good, and proud of the practice. Got a lot done. We'll be fundamental practice for the first three. We'll just go back to basics and camp type practices and get fundamentally sound, and we'll start on our game plan stuff as we go forward and later on that. But good day today. Proud of them.
This week off, at least mentally for them, is that more important maybe because of all the stressors that might have come with this regular season and some of the pressures?
The pressures of winning and being a champion and doing all those things. I mean, sometimes you just got to get away from it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to walk away, man. You got to clean your mind and get a fresh mind. A fresh mind is, man, it goes a long way.
Now that the light at the end of the tunnel, you can kind of see that. The light at the end of the tunnel, is there kind of an easiness with this team now?
Yeah, I think there is. I mean, they understand what's at stake and where they're at and what they put themselves in position to do. And I felt it in the practice against Georgia Tech. You know what I mean? I really felt it there too. So hopefully we'll continue to have great practice.
So is this the same schedule you'd have for a normal bowl,
yes.
Or is it different?
Same. What I would do for a normal bowl. That goes into that mode.
Sorry. How comfortable are the guys with your bowl schedule?
I think they know what we're going to do. They know what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and hopefully they're very comfortable with it. Been very successful.
Jimbo, how's some of your injured guys like Eddie Goldman been healed up?
We held them out, but they'll be fine. If we had to play a game next Saturday, they would be able to play. What we're doing, I'm making sure they're healed fully before we get them on the field, so it's not a nagging thing where sometimes an ankle you go out there and it's not quite it's 80% or 85% and you twist a couple days. We'll give them a few days on those guys. Him and Trey Marshall and Tyler Hunter.
Darby, is he?
No, Darby's fine. He was practicing. He's fine. They're all fine. It was just those three that we held back.
What does Trey have?
Trey got a hamstring.
Jameson, is he having that week off? How's that helping? He's still a little gimpy on that ankle.
I didn't think he was gimpy last game at all. I thought he was really healthy going into that game. See no signs of it now.
I know it didn't come as a surprise, but with Marcus Mariota officially winning the Heisman, that'd be add just another level of excitement to the game and that sort of thing.
I guess. I mean, kid's a great kid. I mean, the little times I've been around him, and he's very well deserving. He had a tremendous year. He had a tremendous year. The team had a tremendous year, and very well deserving award that he got. And yeah, I guess it does for the media. It makes better write-ups, doesn't it?
Does Jameis seem a lot fresher this year, having that week off instead of having to do the banquet circuit?
I mean, Jameis always seems fresh. He seems like nothing ever gets him, but I don't see a difference in him. I mean, really.
Do you sense any motivation has changed for this team over the course of the year, maybe from preseason to some of the...
I thought they've always had it. I think they quietly have it. It's just not a group that goes out vocally and says a lot. I think this team's always had a lot of... Because you wouldn't have achieved and done what they've done without a lot of motivation inside.
Mm-hmm. Coach, have you started... I know, when teams get into Final Four situations in other sports, they go ahead and start looking at tape of other teams. I know you're doing...
No, I ain't looking at other teams. We'll have them broken down. Okay. Our GAs and all the people will have all that broken down until we're ready to go, but we will look at it.
Has that process started already, or how long?
Oh, yeah. We've started last week.
Going back, what do you think has motivated this team over this last calendar year, I guess?
The course of being a champion and the culture. That's what they expect. That's their goals. That's what always the goal is here. And the pride in which they have of the past guys that have played here and the responsibility, how to play and what to play, and of what the guys before them have set, the precedent which they set.
Does that culture almost kind of force them to self-motivate, knowing that there's a standard they kind of have to live up to?
I think you have to self-motivate. I mean, I think if you don't have it within you, I mean, that's part of it, but I think the culture and all that, but I still think it's got to be from within each group, and I think it all combined does.
The whole season you have an X on your back and an undefeated team. And now this game, do you feel like there's still that pressure, or do you feel like it's just the game?
It's still the same thing. We will approach it the same way, and we feel the same way.
Do you like being an underdog? Apparently it's been 50 games since FSU's been an underdog.
Really? I haven't. I don't feel the same to me. I got the same issues. You got to score points, you got to stop them on the other side. Do good on special teams. So from that standpoint, it hadn't changed.
So the players got their cut-ups of Oregon already? I mean, last week?
Yeah, they got them in their iPads and all that stuff, yes.
So did you encourage them last week to...
I told them, get away from it.
Did you?
Get away from it. Clean your mind. We got plenty of time to get ready.
Is there anything unique that comes from preparing a team that you have, no history, no common opponents, really no track record with at all?
Yeah, it makes it fun. I mean, it makes it fun and exciting. But, you talk to Fix, you look at film, and know one thing, they're not where they're at because they're a bad team. They're a heck of a team.
When are you guys heading out to LA?
I'm sorry?
When are you guys heading out to LA?
26th.
For the last Rose Bowl trip, how did you see guys adjust to the time zone and the time difference?
It really didn't even factor. It wasn't even it wasn't even phasing on us. I mean, they adjusted really well. The guys jumped in and did it. So hopefully do the same thing.
How did you feel? They singled out Cam a couple of times during the ACC championship game for how well he was playing. How did you feel he played at center?
I thought he played really well. Got a lot of movement, played very well up front. I mean, he did a real nice job.
How has he helped stabilize the offensive line being at center, and I guess with Rod also being at left tackle?
Well, I think just the girth inside, the size inside. You know what I mean? The power that we gained there, and then Rod on the edge, the length, and Rod's playing really well. I mean, he's doing in the run and pass game. So I think getting him in the game, his size and girth and athleticism was really good.
In preseason, Cam would work out at center, and you said a lot of it was emergency. But did you also have maybe in the back of your mind if Rod was?
I always felt he could be a center in a heartbeat. We always felt he'd be a great center. Just needed the snaps and adjustment time to make sure we had a replacement there where we needed to. But we always felt he'd be a great center.
And when you first,
even up through last year.
When you first saw Rod, after maybe a few days of practice, you thought he's somebody who could contribute too?
Well, we knew he had to get him ready because our depth issues, but and as he progressed, you don't ever put that on him that early, but as he progressed on the season, we felt very good about it.
Chris Casher and Kane Daub out there today?
No, Chris had an issue with his grandfather, which is emergency. He'll be fine, and Kane's on his way back.
You can talk specifics about recruiting, but how has it changed for you? When you first started out, you were obviously trying to prove yourself, prove to everybody that the program was back and yourself. You've obviously proven yourself now. So how is recruiting different when you go into homes or high school?
Well, I think you've got credibility because of what we've accomplished, but at the same time, I don't think it's made it any easier. It's still a dogfight, you know what I mean? Because the guys we're going after, everybody in the world wants, you know what I mean? And it's you're scratching and clawing and building those relationships as much as you can. So, but at least from a credibility standpoint of what you've achieved and what these guys here have done, you got something you can sell that way.
Are doors a little bit maybe more open than they were?
Yeah, I think they are. I think they are, especially with their brand name nationally.
The players were able to get away, like you said, for a week. I know you're recruiting. Did you also kind of not do too much game planning and just focus on recruiting?
We didn't have time for the recruiting. We didn't. Now, I watched periodically. I got taped during the week and watched games when I'd be on the plane or something like that. You know, have an hour, I'd buzz a game and watch a game like that. But as far as game, I just wanted to get a feel for what they did. Schematically, both ways, just to get a feel for them, try to see what they look like athletically.
I know you're still working recruiting, but was it refreshing for you too to even maybe get away a little bit for that week?
We all have to. I mean, you can't. It's just so much grind. You gotta freshen that mind.
Anything in general surprise you, or when looking at Oregon more than you have in the past?
No, I mean, I just they're a heck of a team. I mean, when you look at it, there's no weak spots. They're long. They're athletic. They can run. Both sides of the ball, special. I mean, they're a really good football team. I mean, there's no holes. You're going to have to play great. For the secret is there is no secret. You're going to line up. You have to block and tackle and play great football and not make mistakes because they're not going to make them.
Think about moving Adam Torres or Fred Jones? Adam Torres or Fred Jones the other side of the ball, or
no? Adam had a shoulder surgery.
Okay.
So he's not practicing right now anyway. Fred's staying on defense.
Jim, when you get to these points where you have such a long time to prepare for these teams, how much is it that you guys continue to prepare on what you guys do best?
Oh, you got to do what you do best, but at the same time you got to self-evaluate, which we do spend a lot of time during the season too, on your self-scout, your tendencies, what they're going to see, how they're going to see it, if you want to change things or make wrinkles or kind of judge that way. And that's all part of game plan. And you get a lot of time. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes you do a good job. Sometimes you overthink. It can be good or bad. But you got to make sure that you're able to, the things you hung your hat on that got you here, you can't go. You still got to be able to do those.
Do you have to readjust getting on a normal bowl schedule after last year having an extra week?
No, because we've done it so much. I mean, just move it up. We usually get about 14 to 15 practices. That's what we do.
Bowl schedule hasn't changed, but with it being a playoff, does anything change in this lead up for you?
No.
In anything?
No, not in the first game. Second game is going to be the key. How you get back and master that and get it. Your time between the second. That if you're fortunate enough to play in the finals, that's going to be where it's new to everybody.
Do you guys at least have a plan for whether it's recovery or nutrition, whatever you guys have to do if that happens?
You won't have to rely on a bunch of true freshmen. You guys have really done that a lot this season. Where would you be without having a lot of these freshmen?
I think you're always going to have to. I think you have to do that. And I think when you recruit at a high level, because I think you turn your roster over very quickly a lot of times with 3-and-out guys, the guys that do leave your program early, and guys that are very talented, you're not going to keep until you need to get them on the field and get your best players out there. And how your coaches are doing a great job of developing those guys and putting them in position to learn, and those kids are doing a great job. But I think I think that's today's ball. I think that's the way. And I think if you're going to be those teams at the end of the year to get quality reps, to get enough guys to rest your older guys, injuries, and then sometimes they develop and become the guy. I mean, I think it's only part of football from now on.
Was anything said to, whether it's from you or another coach, said to Dalvin before that Georgia Tech game, knowing he was going to play such an important role?
No, we knew he was going to play and going to get a bunch of carries, so just keep playing.
He got that sense too that he was going to be relied upon a lot?
Yeah, he was. And he got hot, so we just wanted to keep him in the game.
You haven't had it back with 30-something carries in a long time, though. Joseph Adai might have been the last one.
Yeah, probably was. Some of those guys down there. He was hot and he was going and could have played. And Pender was ready. He was playing so well. And that game, every offensive possession was so critical. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't afford a mistake. And it's not that you thought the other guy was. Just when you got a hot hand, you got to stay with him.
How's Carlos Williams looked first practice back?
Good. He was back. He was good. We didn't get him hit. We kept him in the blue, but he was running around fine. He looked really good.
What early impressions of their freshman running back, Royce Freeman?
Oh, really good. We tried to recruit that guy. He was a good player. I mean, he's a big, strong, athletic guy. Good player. Good.